1, 2.
Good morning, Angus spectators. We're going to start with our Angus show here in just a few minutes. Just wanted to call your attention. We do have a fair number of lots listed on a supplement sheet that are around on the bleachers. So if you don't have a supplement sheet, please get that because there are lots not listed in the catalog that can only be found on the supplement sheet. Yeah, they're both standing out there. I would say bring them in. All right, Tyler. Come on in.
We have 3 classes of heifers, a 2, 2, and a 1, huh?
Yep.
Are we just going to keep them out here for grand then?
We'll just set them right back.
You'll do that at the end.
We'll do that at the end.
We'll do it at the end.
All right, coming in for our first class of Angus heifers this morning at the Watertown Winter Farm Show. We have Lot 2, exhibited by Jensen Cattle Company, TJEN Princess Innovation 14H, and Lot 3, Michael's Lady 71M, exhibited by Jeff and Rebecca Michael. These are April and May heifers. Our judge today, we'd like to give a warm welcome and a big thanks to Daniel Weidenbach. Daniel attended SDSU, and today he farms and ranches with his 2 brothers and his wife with a herd of red Angus cattle near Highmore, South Dakota. They have an online heifer sale in the fall, and they sell private treaty bulls in the spring. So if you're looking for some red Angus genetics, you can look them up. Weidenbach Ranch.
Told me not over there, so you'll find out. Well, good morning, and thank you guys for letting me show up and sort your Angus cattle. Certainly a nice class to start off the morning. I like the young man's heifer here that's the Mayborn. I think one that's just a shot more feminine in the way she's put together. One that's super angular in her build. She's super soft at the center portion of her body and their back. You get behind her, one that has enough power for me. She still pulled apart and her skeleton gets out and goes. Maybe one that's just a shot smaller footed if I'd like to change her a little bit, but super angular and moves really well. I think that one's going to develop into a great cow. The heifer that's in second here, I think one that's really pried apart in terms of her skeleton, one that when you get over top of her, I truly like the mass and dimension she has directly behind her shoulder and there throughout. Super bold in her center portion of her body and her rib cage. I think one that maybe didn't participate very well this morning, but I think one that certainly don't shy away from, one that's got some power and some substance at the surface could certainly turn into a nice cow.
All right, class placings for class 1. We had lot 2 from Jensen Cattle Company, followed by lot 3 from Jeff Michael. Coming in the ring now, we have class 2 of heifers. Lot 5 leads us in from Arrow J Cattle, AJA Ruby Primrose N12, followed by lot 38, and you will find lot 38 on the supplement sheets around the stands. If you don't have one, please go ahead and grab one of those. Lot 38 comes to us from ZDOC Ranch, ZDOC Growth Fund Design.
Certainly another nice class, Angus heifers. I'm going to start with the young lady. I think one that, in my opinion, just combines more together in a really good package. I think one as you stand behind her, certainly pulled apart in her skeleton. One that's super wide in her pin set. She's got a ton of power and dimension, no matter what way you study her. I think one that you certainly have to admire for the amount of power she has, the amount of bone work that she's carrying, and still being able to get out and move in a very feminine fashion way. If I'd like to change her, maybe just lay her back a little shot in the angle to her blade, clean her up a shot through the front 1/3 of her skeleton, but I think a really nice heifer. That's where the heifer in second comes in really nice. One that you certainly have to admire for the way she ties her neck out of her shoulder. She's certainly extremely feminine in terms of her chest and head. I think one that maybe you just like to soften up in the center portion of her body a shot and give her a little bit more substance at the ground, but certainly a really nice breeding piece down the road.
Placings for Class 2. First in that class was Lot 38, found on your supplement sheet. ZDOC Growth Fund Design, exhibited by ZDOC Ranch, followed by Lot 5, AJA Ruby Primrose N12 by Arrow J Cattle Company. Class 3 of the heifers is just a single entry class. This is Lot 37, also found on your supplement sheet. Exhibited by Ian Sesser, AA Josie H020. This will be our final class of Angus heifers, and after this, we'll have class winners from winners from class 1, 2, and 3 in, and the champion heifer selection.
Extremely nice single entry Angus here. I think one that certainly could have held some competition. One that you certainly admire for just how sleek and feminine she is about her angle to her blade and how she ties her neck on the apex of her shoulder. One that you certainly like for the amount of power she has. She's super good in terms of the amount of bone work she has. I'd like to loosen her up just so slightly out of her rear too, but I think one that you get her on the side profile, she has a lot of presence. You get behind her, she's got a lot of substance and a lot of power. I think that's certainly a nice heifer for the young man.
Placing for Class 3. First in that class is Lot 37, exhibited by Ian Sesser. Now we'll have our champion heifer selection. We'll bring in class winners from our 3 heifer classes as soon as they're up here and organized. Coming in the ring first, we have our class winner from Class 1. Lot 2, exhibited by Jensen Cattle Company, followed by the class winner from Class 2, Lot 38, exhibited by ZDOC Ranch, and then our winner of Class 3, lot 37, exhibited by Ian Sesser.
The judge in your heifer pictures, so take first afterwards, or okay. Then if these guys don't have bulls, we'll just try to get them.
I'd rather have a picture than with a banner. As you guys are watching our show today and thinking about attending the sale at 12:30, the exhibitors invite you all back into the barn to look at things a little closer. Please feel free to ask questions of our exhibitors, ask them to take animals out of the stall to get a better look, or whatever you might need to help you make those final decisions.
Really nice, high quality lineup here in our champion heifer drive. And just to be thorough, I'm going to run through these things quick and just kind of let you know where I'm at before I go out and select you a champion heifer. I do just going to brush over them all. I like the young man's heifer in the first class. I think one that for April born, I think one that's certainly really unique in the way she's put together. I think she's super extended and clean up through the front 1/3 of her body. She's good in her chest floor, and for the age, still has a lot of center portion or center rib. I think one that you read in terms back, she's super maternal in the way she's put together. I think if you stand behind her, she's certainly got enough power for me. I'd like to see her shot a bit more pulled apart in terms of her skeleton, but I think one that just reads ultra feminine. Now the heifer that comes in second class here, I think one that's certainly a brood cow, one that's super tore apart in the center portion of her chest. She's got a lot of power up top, directly behind her shoulder, all the way back through her top. She's pried apart in her pin set, one that's certainly got a lot of turn and shape to her stifle, and she's super massive at the ground. But I think also she's also the one that could use just a shot bit more femininity in the way she's put together in the front 1/3 of her skeleton, but certainly a nice high-powered individual that comes out of the second class. And the young man in the third class here, I think one that when settled down, standing still is extremely good. I love her head shape. She's really good in terms of her shoulder and the way she ties her neck out of it. One, as you read her there back, you like her through the center portion of her body. She maybe needs to be a shot higher in her pins, just so she levels out her hip a little bit and can get around the ring with a shot more easy off her rear too. But I think one that's got the most potential down the road to be in the show ring. I think all three of these are really nice heifers. I'm going to go ahead and use the young man out of your third class for your champion heifer, and then I'm going to go ahead and follow with the young man out of the first class to be your reserve. So congratulations to both of you.
All right, champion heifer goes to lot 37. If you're looking for lot 37 and haven't been able to find it in your catalog, it's on the supplement sheet around on the bleachers for her information. But she was exhibited by Ian Sesser, AA Josie H020. Congratulations. Reserve champion heifer goes to lot 2, exhibited by Jensen Cattle Company. As we get organized for our bull show, just want to mention this year's sponsors of the Watertown Winter Farm Show. We are supremely grateful for these sponsors. It allows the exhibitors to bring our cattle here and not cost an arm and a leg to do so. So we really appreciate all the work that the Ag Committee puts in to find these sponsors, and we certainly appreciate the businesses that donate monetary funds to help us put this show on and make it a great show. So Supreme Row sponsors: American Bank and Trust, Badlands Ranch and Rodeo Equipment, Dakota Bank, Farm Credit Services of America, First Bank and Trust, First Interstate Bank, First Premier Bank, Glacial Lakes Energy, Kibble Equipment, Midwest Veterinary Services, Plains Commerce Bank, Reliabank, Titan Machinery, Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, which is a Coddington Clark Electric Cooperative, HD Electric, Whetstone Valley Electric, and Lake Region Electric, and then the Tri-State Livestock News and Farmer Ranch Exchange. So thank you to these Supreme Row sponsors. All right, in the ring now we have Class 4, which is our first class of bulls, Angus bulls. First in the ring, you'll see with our red lot tags, graciously donated to us by Midwest Veterinary Services. Lot 7 comes to us from SNR Angus, SNR Stability J434. Lot 9X. 9X you can find on the supplement sheets around and about. If you hadn't heard, there's a supplement sheet. He comes to us from C&M Cattle, C&M Hoover's Linebacker. And then Lot 13 from Arrow J Cattle, AJA Amendment N14. Again, our judge today is Daniel Weidenbach of Weidenbach Ranch out by Highmore. He is a graduate of SDSU, and he ranches now with his 2 brothers and his wife. They offer an online heifer sale in the fall and private treaty bulls in the spring.
Certainly a really, really high quality class. And as I pick these top two bulls apart, don't take it anywhere in terms of sale order. I think these are just two really good individuals that got tied up in the same class. I'm going to go with the slicker-haired young man's heifer up front, or bull up front. I think one for me, I just like him in terms of he's just so much more angular in the way he's put together. One that gets around the ring with a shot bit more ease than the one that files in second. I think the one that you get behind him, you wish maybe he had just a shot bit more power, but you catch him on the side profile, and that's one that you really can fall in love with. He's super angular. He's really good in terms of his chest floor, one that ties up high out of his shoulder. From there back, he reads like he's going to have real maternal side heifers. He's super soft and bold in the center portion of his rib cage. You love him out of his hip and hind leg, and then when you set him in motion, I think that's where they kind of get set apart. One that's super smooth on the go. I just like that bull a lot to start off our class. The young man in second, I think one that certainly just got put in a tough class. He really does mimic my class winner a lot. I like this one just a shot bit more. If he's just a shot truer directly behind his shoulder, he's stouter there and opens up with more power. But then again, though, too, he just is a shot bit shorter hip than my class winner, and when you set him in motion, just doesn't get out and go like my class winner does, but certainly a really, really nice bull that did fall into second into a tough class. Now, the bull that comes out here in third, it's a bad day when I have to put the power bull in third. I think one in terms of being the most pried apart in his skeleton, this one certainly wins. He's opened up through his chest floor. You love him in the terms of his rib shape and how stout and powerful he is behind. Just fell into a really tough set of bulls that just got a shot bit outclassed today, but certainly one if you want to set on a commercial set of cows or a really nice set of Angus, I think one that'll certainly put pounds on your calves.
Placings for Class 4, which was our first class of Angus bulls today. Winning that class, we had Lot 7, brought to us by SNR Angus of Wisconsin. Second in that class, we had Lot 13, exhibited by Arrow J Cattle Company. And rounding out that class, we had Lot 9X, brought to us by C&M Cattle. You can find 9X, his information is on the supplement sheet. All right, coming in as Class 5. First in the ring, we have Lot 15, Pepke Angus, Pepke Instinct 924, followed by Lot 18, RFA Craftsman 423, exhibited by Reese Family Angus. Lot 19, Willer Architect 417, exhibited by Dylan Willer. And last into the ring today, we have Lot 20, ZDOC Growth Fund Star 937, exhibited by ZDOC Ranch. Thanking our wood chip sponsors, Glacial Lakes Veterinary, Corteva Pioneer, East Side Equipment, and West Side Equipment. We really appreciate their donating to cover the cost of the wood chips. It really, really helps everybody out. Video auction, we have liveauctions.tv here with us today. We appreciate them being here. The sponsors for that, Spot On Printing, Robertson Crop Insurance, and BZ Welding. In addition, also sponsoring the video auction, live auctions, Farmers Implement and Irrigation, Elite Drain and Sewer Cleaning, Midwest Veterinary Service, and Shoe Chard Trailer. Sorry if I butchered that.
Really good class here, Angus Bulls. Start off with the young lady. I think one that just ties it together the best for me. One that's still got enough power and dimension when you get directly behind him. You get him on the side profile. Certainly the one that's the deepest in the center portion of his body. Still pretty angular in terms of his skeleton. I'd like to clean him up a shot bit in his chest floor, but that's asking quite a bit coming from one that's got the added power and the dimension, the softness, skeleton, and body. I think it's a really nice place to start off. The young man's coming second. Certainly one when you get behind him, he certainly is impressive. I think I like him in terms of the way he's pried apart and his pin setting. He's got a lot of turn and shape to his stifle. One that's bold in terms of his chest floor and his shoulder. I really like that bull to sit in second. Bull here in third. Certainly the one that's got the most frame out of anything in the class. Super long bodied, super well put together. One that gets out and can cover some country. I like him in terms of his testicular development out of the class. Really good in terms of that. And then the gal that rolled out the in fourth, I think one that just got a little bit outpowered today and one that just got a little bit outclassed. I think one that certainly, as you study it as an individual, wide directly behind his shoulders, one that has a lot of shape and a lot of dimension, certainly still good at the ground, maybe just got a little outframed, a little outpowered today, but a really nice bull to round out the class. Thank you.
Class placings for our second class of bulls, which was class 5. Winning that class, we have lot 20, exhibited by ZDoc Ranch. Second in class was lot 18 from Reese Family Angus. Third, we had lot 19 coming to us from Dylan Willer. And rounding on that class was lot 15 from Pepke Angus. All right, then we have class 6 coming in now. We have lot 21, exhibited by ZDoc Ranch, ZDoc Rainfall Design, followed by lot 22, Dandy Acres Crossfire 2404, exhibited by Dandy Acres Livestock, and lot 23, Willer Brigade 416, exhibited by Dylan Willer. Following this class, we are going to have a division, spring calf division, and have our judge select the top from the last 3 classes.
It's a really good set of bulls that are all different in type and kind. And I think the one I'm going to lead the class off with is the one that puts it all together for me. Certainly, I think the one that's probably the greenest in his condition, but I think that also aids to his advantage because you can see some future down the road. I think one that's really smooth in the way he's put together. I like him in terms of how his blade lays in to his rib cage, one that's got some center body. I like him when you get behind him. He's certainly good in terms of his pin width. I think that's a bull that's just put together very well and does everything that I need to do to win this class. The young lady to come out second, I think that bull, in terms of my class winners, a shot bit more powerful. Get behind him. He's got a little bit more turn and shape to his stifle. He opens up a little bit bolder directly behind his shoulder. I think one for me that maybe just put together a little plainer in terms of the front 1/3 of his skeleton. I think one that could just get out with a little bit more flex and go on the front two. I think a really nice, good breeding bull there to come out in second. The bull that's going to come out in third, I think one that, for me, looks like he's got to be very good in terms of his head shape for maybe on heifers, in terms of his bone work. I like one very, very well fed. I think that one there is super clean the way he was fed out. I think one there that's really good in terms of fat cover. I think I like that one the way he's been fed. From there out, he's super bold and powerful over the top portion of his skeleton. He's by far the widest pin-setted one. I just like to see him a little bit more uniform to the ground in terms of bone work, but certainly a nice bull to round out the class.
Class placings for Class 6. We have Lot 22 from Dandy Acres Livestock, followed by Lot 21, Z-Dock Ranch, and rounding out that Class 6 was Lot 23 from Dylan Willer. All right, coming in the ring now, we're going to do a spring calf division. And so here we have the class winner from Class 4, Lot 7, brought to us by S&R Angus, followed by the class winner of Class 5, Lot 20 from Z-Dock Ranch, and then the class winner of Class 6, Lot 22 from Dandy Acres Livestock.
It's a really nice division of Angus bulls, and like I did in the heifers, I'm going to kind of run through them before I go ahead and pick them out. And I'm going to start with the young man's up front. I think one that you certainly have to admire for how well he's put together. This one in class hit me really hard. I like this one standing still, and I like him even more in motion. I like him in terms of the angulation he has to his skeleton, how extended he is up front. I like him when you get in front of him. He's certainly good in terms of his head shape. He's still pried apart through his chest floor and opens up into a bold center cavity. When you get behind him, I'd like to just open him up a shot more to make him more adequate in my opinion. But I mean, that's getting pretty nitpicky on a good one. The young lady comes out of second class. I think one that's put together really well. Super bold in terms of his skull. He's wide in terms of his chest floor. One that you read him over the top portion of his skeleton's got a lot of power from there back. You get behind him, he's wide in his pin set, and he goes great to the surface. I think one, if I'd just like to change him though, he's just a little bit plain through the front 1/3 of his skeleton. But I think a very, very nice bull that's got a lot of power and dimension. Bull out of the 3rd class, I think one that's very smooth in the way he's put together. You read him, he's really green in his appearance yet, which I still like for this standpoint, while they're having that much power and dimension. He's super level over the top portion of his skeleton. You set him in motion, he's great. Good in terms of his testicular development. I think a bull that just fit in really nice to win that class. I'm going to go ahead, though, and use the young man out of the 1st class to win this division.
Winning that division is Lot 7 from S&R Angus, and coming in that is second in that class, Lot 13 from Arrow J Cattle Company.
The young man to pull in his bull here in second. In class, like I said, I picked him apart a little bit, but I just did it so just so everyone knew where I was at. I think one that really, really ran into the toughest class in the show. I like this one. I admire him in terms of the way he's also put together. I think one that you really do have to like for being really level over his top side. He's super attractive out of his hip and hind leg. He's love him in the center portion of his body. I just think he ran into a really tough class, but young man, you'd be our reserve.
Reserve division then goes to Lot 13 from Arrow J Cattle.
Classes of 3 in the next division. Then they'll go February 23rd, 22nd, 22nd, January 17th, January 1st, and December 27th. So we're going up.
All right, in this class 7 coming in the ring, we have Lot 24, brought to us from Reese Family Angus, RFA Craftsman 411, followed by Lot 25, also from Reese Family Angus, RFA Fair and Square 404, and Lot 26 from Jensen Cattle Company, TJEN HV Reckoning 15B.
really nice class here in our next division. Buyers in the stands, be aware that I'm selecting for different reasons than might be to your operation. This class just proves it. I think I like to start off with the young man here, one that's got a little bit more presence, one that's got a little bit more center body. I think one that, in my opinion, set out into an Angus herd or a purebred operation, I think would be a great buy. I think one that's super angular in his skeleton. I think one that reads a little bit more feminine or a little bit more extended, a little bit more maternal in terms of his neck and head. I think that one would be great on a purebred set of cows. To add a little hair, add a little flair if you're looking for some replacement heifers. You get behind him though too, he's certainly got enough power. I really like him at the surface in terms of his pasture and hock, one that just really gets out and moves and has a lot of presence. The young man in second though, I think one for a commercial operation is certainly should win the class. I like this one a ton in terms of how pride apart he is at his skeleton. What you see is what you get here. There's not a lot of hair to hide anything here. You open him up through the center portion of his chest. He's super bold in the center cavity. And I think when you get behind this one, easily the stoutest one in the class, I just think he got a little bit outclassed today in terms of our class winner, but certainly a bold sprung, super powerful bull to sit in second. I think the bull to ride out in here in third. I think one that maybe just got a shot bit plainer in terms of the way he's built, but you really got to like him in terms of how much power and dimension he has. I think he just ran into a tough class today, so congratulations to all three of you.
All right, placings for that Class 7. Class winner was Lot 26 from Jensen Cattle Company, followed by Lot 25 from Reese Family Angus, and that class was rounded out by Lot 24, also from Reese Family Angus. In the ring now, we have Class 8, Lot 27, DAG Top Gun 2407, brought to us by Derek Ikowski, followed by Lot 28, TMK Wheelhouse 444 of 925 by Kwasniewski Angus. And then Lot 29, DAG Domain 2402, also by Derek Gajkowski. As you guys are looking through your catalog and thinking about the sale later on, you'll see some familiar names, some really long-standing consigners that have always come to Watertown that we greatly appreciate. They always bring good cattle in good shape and ready for you. There also are a handful of newer consigners that maybe this is their first or second year, but are bringing us cattle that are worthy of being here, and we really appreciate all their work. So please, if you don't recognize a name, don't let that stop you. Go ahead and go back in the barn and look through, talk to these consigners. Everyone's worked really hard to get cattle here on display for you today, and they're real proud of their offering. So please don't be afraid to go back and chat with our exhibitors before the sale starts at 12:30.
really nice group of bulls, and I think they're all alike in terms of type and kind. They're all real bold, sprung. They're a real powerful set of bulls. They are what you get. I think the thing that sorts it out for me, I'm going to start with lot 29. I think just in terms of structure, I read this one to be a little bit better in terms of open country, one that gets out and moves, a little bit more flex and ease than the bull that's going to come directly in second. I think one is you set him in motion, he just gets out and strides a little bit more stability at the surface. I think one that I like quite a bit more in terms of his lower joints. I'd like to change him ever so slightly, just make him a shot bit more attractive and extend it up through the front 1/3 of his body and a little bit more relaxed in his blade. But I think a bull that you certainly have to admire for the depth of body, the amount of power, and the way he gets out and strides in the ring. Young man say come out in second, I think certainly had him in terms of frame size, one that's a little bit taller at the top of his shoulder. I think he'll have a little bit more length of body. One for me, though, you set him out in motion, I'd like him to handle his rear pasterns just a shot better than he does today. But certainly a really nice, bold sprung power bull to end up in second. Now in third here, I think the young lady certainly has a nice bull. One that you read for being very good in terms of his head structure. I like him the way he ties his neck into his shoulder. One that's super level over his top line. You get behind him, he's certainly got enough power. I just think one today that maybe doesn't quite balance up as neatly from the side profile, but a really nice breeding bull nonetheless.
Placings in that class, lot 29 from Derek Ikowski was first in that class, followed also by Derek's second entry, lot 27. And rounding on that class, we had lot 28 from Kwasniewski Angus. Oh, yep, okay. Just want to remind everybody about the Supreme Row winnings we have, thanks to the wonderful sponsors that I mentioned earlier. But the Supreme Row winnings this year, so Supreme Champion Bull of all breeds, will get a $2,000 purse to each the buyer and the consignor of that bull. The Supreme Champion Female will get $1,500 to each the buyer and the consignor of that Supreme Champion Female. And the Reserve Champion Bull and Reserve Champion Female will get $500 goes to each the buyer and the consignor of those individuals as well. So it's a really great purse. Another reason that our exhibitors are bringing quality cattle here today to run after Supreme Row. If you've been walking around and you notice any folks wearing champion jackets, Angus champion jacket, Angus champion female jackets, anything like that, we want to thank our Supreme Row sponsors once again. Because of their sponsorship, in addition to the Supreme Row purse that we just talked about, which is fantastic, they also get each breed, champion bull and champion female, and then one random drawing per breed. They all get an embroidered Farm Show jacket, which is super fun for our exhibitors to get. So we really appreciate that. Okay, coming in the ring now, we have our Class 9 of Angus bulls. Lot 30, exhibited by Kwasniewski Angus, TMK Architect 364 of 146. Followed by Lot 31, also coming to us from Kwasniewski Angus, TMK Trademark 124 of 205. And then Lot 39, who you can find on your supplement sheet. If you haven't found a supplement sheet in the bleachers, please go do so. There are cattle on here that are not in the catalog, so please find yourself a supplement sheet. Lot 39 comes to us from Ian Sesser, AA, Raise Me Up. Thanking the Chamber Ag Committee again for all the work that they do to put on this wonderful show. They work so hard to get such great sponsorships, and in doing so, they are able to give each breed a cash award for them to do with as they choose. Some breeds choose to donate it to their junior program, some breeds choose to put it towards overall sale expense. The Angus, we chose to split it out, and we give all of our exhibitors a little walking around money for the week because we're here in Watertown for 2 days, and so we need to eat. So we give everybody a little cash so we can grab something and patronize the Watertown businesses as well. So we want to thank the Chamber for that. We really do appreciate that purse, and it goes a long way for our exhibitors.
Really nice group of Angus bulls that are certainly different in kind. And I'm going to start off with the young man here. I think one for me just ties it together the best. I really like this one in terms of overall presence. I think a bull that's got enough size for me. You catch him on the side profile, really fall in love with him in terms of how well he's put together. You like him in the angle to his shoulder. You love him in his top line. He's super attractive out of his hip and hind leg. You get behind him. One's got some pin width, some turn and shape to his stifle. He's really good in terms of his testicular development. One I like in terms of being cleaner sheathed out of the class. I think it's a really nice place to start. Congratulations to the young man. The two here in second and third, I think, were certainly more of a decision for me. I'm going to use the young man. I think one that's got more pieces, in my opinion. I like him in terms of the front one-third of his skeleton a little bit more. He's more masculine about his head. One that reads super level over his top line. He's really good and wide out of his hip. One for me, if I'd like to change him, just soften him up in his appearance, give him a little bit more center body. I think it'd certainly balance him out a little bit neater from the profile. But one that you really like for having super neat pieces, being extended, being powerful, still having some foot and bone and some move on the go. I think the young lady that comes out in third, I think one that's very practical in terms of his build. I like this bull. I think one today that maybe just got a little outclassed. He's just a shot plainer in terms he reads about his head and neck, but one that you really have to admire in terms of having a lot of center body, still having some power and some dimension. Really nice class of bulls. So congratulations to all three of you.
All right, placings in that class. We had lot 39, who is found on your supplement sheet from Ian Sesser. AA Raise Me Up. Second in that class was lot 31 from Kwasaniewski Angus, and third in that class was also from Kwasaniewski Angus. Now we're going to do another quick division, a winter calf division here, taking the winners from those last 3 classes and bringing them in. We like to do division just to kind of break things up a little bit so we have a little more room in the ring when it comes down to champion bull. So coming in the ring, we have our class winner from Class 7, Lot 26, brought to us from Jensen Cattle Company. And this is Tyler Jensen. This is his first year exhibiting here at the Watertown Angus Show and Sale, so we sure appreciate his efforts to bring us some good cattle today. Second in the ring, we have our class winner from Class 8. This is Lot 29, brought to us from Derek Gajkowski. And then third in the ring, we have our class winner from this last class, Class 9, Lot 39 from Ian Sesser.
This is a really nice division of Angus bulls, and run through them here. I like a young man that came out of our first class of this division is a bull that I really admire. I think one that you truly admire for the amount of center body he has. When you get behind him, he's still opened up, has some pins set. I like that about him, and he's true to the surface. I really do like that about this bull. You get up from behind, really big testicle. You like that about him. I'd like to make him just a shot bit more opened up directly behind his shoulder, just to even him out in terms of his power from front to back. But I think that's a really good bull to come out of the first class. The power bull that came out of the second class is certainly going to pack some pounds on a set of calves. I like this bull in terms of how much true shape he does. Super bold in terms of his chest floor. Super big in the center portion of his cavity. He's true up top. One that's just certainly wide based at the surface. I really like that bull. And the bull that comes out of the third class, I think one that really puts things together for me. Super soft. I like that bull from the side profile. I mean, you look at him now, he's extended up front, but still masculine about his head and neck. Super level there back. I like him in terms of his hip and hind leg. You know, if you can pry him apart a little bit and make him a shot more powerful if you want to get picky on him, but I think that's a big constructed, good moving, good looking bull, and he'll be your champion out of this division. Congratulations.
We'll bring a reserve in.
All right, taking home winter calf champion, we had lot 39, and you can find information for this bull on the supplement sheet. He's brought to us by Ian Sesser, and we'll just get the second from that class to come in, and we can do a reserve selection. After this division, we'll have our final class of Angus bulls coming in for senior bulls, and then we'll do our champion Angus bull selection. All right, coming in now, we have the second place from our class 9, lot 30 from Kwasniewski Angus. 30.
Quick touch base. The bull that came out second in our third class, I think one, like I said, is certainly cool and has some extreme pieces that I like. I like him in terms of how extended he is up front and how clean he is through his chest floor. You get behind him, he's certainly attractive in the way he sits down to the surface, long and level spine. But I think that I got to keep the two together up here up front. I think I need to use the young man's out of the first class to tie in with my reserve division. So congratulations to you, young man.
All right, for reserve champion winter calf division goes to lot 26 from Jensen Cattle Company. All right, coming in the ring is our final class of Angus bulls. These are the big boys. We have lot 32, LNJ 143 Rainmaker 32 CW, brought to us from LNJ Farms and Ranch, followed by lot 33, LNJ 093 Cedarwood 010K, also from LNJ Farms and Ranch. And coming in the ring finally is lot 35, Willer Stun Gun 320, coming to us from Dylan Willer. This is our only class of bigger bulls, so this will be he'll select for the class and also the senior bull division as well.
This is a class of our aged Angus bulls and also be our division. So congratulations on the young lady on winning our division here. If you're looking for a few bulls to go out and cover some extra cows, I think this would be a good class here. I think one that certainly wins this one quite easily, in my opinion. I think he's the one that's more balanced in terms of his appearance, one that you like in terms of his foot structure and the way he gets around the ring. Certainly more attractive in the way he places his hip and hind leg. One bull that you admire for having some extension up front, still being bold sprung and powerful from behind. I think it's a really logical place for me to start the class. I think the bull in second in terms of being more pried apart in his skeleton and having just more sheer power. This is your bull, I think, one that's bolder up front, but it also comes with the fact that he's maybe shot a bit bolder about his shoulder. I think he doesn't quite move his weight out of his front skeleton. He's as the class winner directly above him. But I think one that you really do admire for just how pried apart he is in his skeleton, how much shape he has over the top side of his skeleton. And when you get behind, he certainly doesn't disappoint. Young man in third here, I think one that's certainly got some frame size. If you're looking to add some frame to some cattle, this is your bull. I think one that's certainly got the hip height measurement. He's super long-bodied. One that I'd just like to soften up and just balance a shot bit more from the profile, but certainly a nice bull to round out the class. Congratulations to all you exhibitors.
All right, for our senior bull division and single class placings and champion senior bull, we had lot 32 from L&J Farms and Ranch, and reserve champion senior bull went to lot 33, also from L&J Farms and Ranch. All right, coming in the ring next, we'll do our champion Angus bull selection. Want to extend a big thanks to our judge today, Daniel Weidenbach, from Highmore, South Dakota. He is a red Angus breeder with his brothers and his wife out by Highmore, and they sell online heifers in the fall and private treaty bulls in the spring. So if you're looking for red Angus cattle, you can give them a look. Okay, in the ring now we have our spring calf champion, lot 7, coming to us from SNR Angus, followed by our winter calf champion, lot 39, from Ian Sesser. And then our senior bull champion, lot 32, from L&J Farms and Ranch. I want to thank everybody for joining us for the Angus show today, both in person and on live auctions. And as we get ready for the Angus sale to start at 12:30. Make sure you get a bidder number. They'll be available about a half hour prior to the start of the sale here in the ring. And you can enjoy the Hereford show following our Angus selection. If you're just joining us, this is the Champion Angus Bull selection. In the ring, we have lot 7 from SNR Angus, lot 39 from Ian Susser, and lot 32 from L&J Farms and Ranch.
Well, I'm not sure if all of you been through the entire Angus show with me today, but put together a round of applause for certainly a super high quality set of Angus bulls. You know, if we would have had the reserves out here in each of these divisions, I think that everybody in the stands could have seen that as exhibitors, you guys put together a heck of a couple of divisions. I think that there's 4 bulls out there, 6 bulls that were very, very good in terms of being super functional cattle at the surface while still having some presence and some look. I think that what we have out here right now is certainly a very, very good display of it. I think that the way I like my cattle, I like them to get out and cover some country while still having some look and get behind them, have some power. Throw some emphasis on feet and leg structure. I like skeletons that are angular, and I like them to have some power and just be functional cattle. At the end of the day, are going to go out and make money on either side of the spectrum, both purebred and commercial, and I think that we got a lineup that'll do that. I'm not going to go out and waste any more time. I'm just going to go ahead and select you a Grand and Reserve Champion Angus bull.
Champion Angus bull goes to lot 7, brought to us by SNR Angus from Wisconsin. Coming in, we have the reserve division from that spring calf division, lot 13 from Arrow J Cattle. Reserve Champion Angus is lot 39, exhibited by Ian Sesser. Thank you and congratulations to our Angus exhibitors. Please join us in the back of the barn if you want to see these guys a little more up close and personal. We more than welcome you to do so. We're going to take a 10-minute breather here, but let the Hereford guys get in and get set up, and then we'll start the Hereford show for today.
Test 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to the Hereford show. You people on the stands, as well as the viewers on liveauctions.tv. This is the 80th Watertown Winter Farm Show. We've got a very, very high quality set of Hereford cattle to show you today. The judge for today is Daniel Wiedenbach from Highmore. Up in the announcer's booth, I have Ryan Ulrich. He's one of the sale managers here at this Hereford show and sale, along with Jeff Klages and Matt Zenz. We're starting off with Class 1 yearling females.
Correct. No, the youngest is out there.
Do you want
I can do that. I can do it.
Okay.
The consigners in here today, at the far north end is Paxton Mose with lot 2. Next is a consignment from Will Frecking from Alpha, Minnesota, lot 3 heifer. Lot 4 is from Hansmeyer and Sons, a longtime consigner here at the Watertown Farm Show. Next is lot 5 from Mitchell Vanderwall. And rounding out the class is another consignment from Hansmeyer and Sons, lot 6 heifer.
When I see Hansmeyer and Sons, Ryan, this will go back to about 1979. Harley Lamb and I were working at Hub City Livestock in Aberdeen. Hansmeyer and Sons were going to have a bull sale. When we left Clark, we were going to try to be up there around 11 o'clock because they had free food. Every good auctioneer always makes sure they get free food. We left Clark about 9 o'clock. It was snowing and blowing a little bit. Nobody had cell phones or anything in those days. We took us just about 2 hours to get to Aberdeen. We pulled in the Hub City Livestock. There was Gene Young, the owner's pickup, parked in front of the sale barn, and our vehicle. We walked in the front door, and Gene Young says, "I knew I forgot to call somebody." Yeah, it was a regular blizzard.
One thing I want to mention to everyone in the stands and online, for the sale afterwards, following the Angus sale, these heifers are eligible for the grants if you applied in November and did not get one purchased at the Excellent sale. So if there's any juniors that do have a grant, you can use that here at this sale today, this afternoon after the Angus sale.
Then also the winners today in the Hereford division for the Grand Champion female and bull are eligible for Supreme Row. Supreme Row Champion bull is $2,000 to each the buyer and consigner. Supreme Champion female is $1,500 to each the buyer and consigner. And the Reserve Champion bull and female is $500 each to the buyers and consigner. Our Supreme Row sponsors this year are American Bank and Trust, Badlands Ranch and Rodeo Equipment, Dakota Bank, Farm Credit Services, First Bank and Trust, First Interstate Bank, First Premier Bank, Glacial Lakes Energy, Kibble Equipment, Midwest Veterinary Service, Plains Commerce Bank, Relia Bank, Titan Machinery, Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, and Tri-State Livestock News and Farmer Ranch Exchange. Thanks to these sponsors, each breed champion bull and female and a random drawing per breed will receive an embroidered Watertown Farm Show jacket. Some other sponsors we'd like to recognize. Here's our wood chip sponsors, our Glacial Lakes Veterinary Service, Cortiva Pioneer, East Side Equipment, and West Side Equipment.
I think a really nice class to start off the Hereford show this morning. A young man brings out the stouter heifer of the group. I think one that when you get behind her, you're certainly impressed for how much mass and dimension she carries over her top. One that's good and wide in terms of her pin set. I think one that I could just change ever so slightly. I'd like to soften her up in her appearance, specifically in her center portion of her body. Just make her a shot bit more maternal in the way she bounces out from the side profile. That's where I think the heifer in second comes to advantage. I think one that's really, really maternal in the way she's built. She's sleek up front, angular to her shoulder, ties her neck high out of that shoulder too. Think if you get behind her, she's just a shot bit narrower than the one that leads in front of her. I think two really nice heifers. Young man in third, I think, has got the one with the coolest pieces out of everything here. Super elegant in terms of the front 1/3 of its skeleton, tucked up in its chest floor. One that's really stout from behind, good haired, gets out and moves well. I think just wound up a shot bit too tight, wants to drive up in her spine ever so slightly when set in motion. The young lady that comes out in fourth, I think one that's really practical in her build. She's long-bodied, she's got some power, and she's got some mass and dimension. I think she's just a shot bit more tubular in terms of when she's built into her rib cage. And the heifer that comes out in fifth, the one, the colored-up heifer of the ones, I think that she's just a shot plainer in terms of her build and in comparison to the four in front of her. I think one that you really have to admire, though, for having some power and some dimension. Very well-deserved class.
Winning Class 1 is a consignment from Mitchell Vanderwall, and second was Will Frecking. Third is the consignment from Paxton Mose. Fourth, and rounding out the class, are consignments from Hansmeyer. Entering the ring now is Lot 7, a consignment from Grace Herefords, and Lot 8, a consignment from Circle S Ranch.
This will be our last class of females, and then we'll select your grand champion reserve female. We also have sponsors for our video auction sponsors here at the farm show. That is Spot On Printing, Robertson Crop Insurance, and BZ Welding. Other video auction sponsors include Farmers Implement and Irrigation, Elite Drain and Sewer Cleaning, Midwest Veterinary Service, and Shoecard Trailer Sales. As you look through your Watertown Farm Show book, there's books scattered out on the different corners of the bleachers. You have to admire the work that has been put into this program. Without a doubt, one of the best books you will run across at a farm show. Thank you to the Chamber, all the sponsors, and Juergens Printing for putting together this book. I think the young lady in the ring, Kelsey Becking, helping out, might have had a little bit something to do with this.
Another nice class of Herefords here, I think, too, that are certainly different in type and kind. And about as far apart as you can make them, I'm going to use the young man. I think that one there is just way more uniformly built for me. Maybe she's a shot in the more moderate size. Excuse me. She's a shot a bit more on the moderate size, in my opinion, but one that you certainly have to admire in terms of being extremely elegant in the way she's built. When she finally settles into herself, that's one that's extremely attractive up front, super feminine about her head and neck. You read her back, she's good level topped and got some spring or rib. From behind, she certainly doesn't disappoint, one that has some power and some mass, and when you set her out into motion, one that still gets out with a lot of flexibility. The heifer that comes out in second, certainly a power heifer, the one that's got more frame size, and certainly one that you have to admire for the added maturity she has. But one for me, I think, doesn't balance up quite as neat from the side profile. She's a shot bit more tubular in her rib cage, but I think one that certainly has the power and the dimension to sit second in class.
Congratulations to the Grace Herefords. They won Class 2, and Circle S is second in the class. And now we'll have our class winners come in for the selection of the Grand Champion and Reserve Champion heifer.
So back into the ring, we will have Lot 5 from Mitchell Vanderwall. And Lot 7 from Grace Herefords. Mitchell Vanderwall comes to you from Howard, South Dakota. Grace Herefords from Humboldt, South Dakota. Ryan, we've been around the farm show long enough to remember when Mitchell Vanderwall was the same age as that young man he's showing against in this show ring. Mitchell's getting married. Well, Mitchell, there's a lot worse things than getting married. Can't think of any of them right now, but
Just quick brush over this division before I go out and select Grand Reserve. I like the young man's heifer that comes out of the first class. I think one that you admire for their boldness, one that's really cowy in terms of the front 1/3 of her body and their head shape, one that's super maternal in the way she reads. I like her when you study her directly behind her shoulder. She opens up with a bunch of power. Come out back, she's big pinned, and she has a lot of turn and shape to her stifle. Now, if I'd like to change her ever so slightly, I'd like to soften her up in terms of her image, make her a shot deeper and bolder, the center portion of her body, maybe a hair bit more attractive of her hip and hind leg, but that's being picky on a good one. The young man that comes in second, I think one that, in my opinion, is everything I'd like to change in the heifer in the first class. If you could combine these two together, I think we'd have a really, really good contender out here. I think that one there is extremely youthful in the way she's built up front. I like her in terms of her chest floor and how tucked up she is. She reads more angular in terms of the angle to her blade. She ties her neck higher out of the point of her shoulder. She's probably longer and leveler back to her spine and more attractive in her hip and hind leg. But when you get behind her, she lacks a little bit of the power and she lacks a little bit of the added punch of the heifer in the first class. My opinion, though, I think in terms of where I'd like to be in future show ring presence down the road, I'm going to use the young man out of the second class to be your grand champion Hereford, and I'm going to follow her with the young man out of the first class. Congratulations to both of you.
Congratulations to Grace Herefords with having the champion Hereford heifer. Weston, you can smile going out the ring. Congrats, buddy. And Mitchell Vanderwall as the reserve champion Hereford heifer today. Congratulations, guys. We're going to roll right into our bull show. Lots 12 and 13 are scratches. We have that on the show order. So entering the ring is Weston Grace with Grace Herefords, lot 14. Next in the ring, lot 15, Clegus Herefords. And another consignment from Clegus Herefords with lot 16.
The sale is scheduled to start at 12:30 with the Angus, followed by the Hereford sale. When you leave the show ring, if you want to run, grab a bite to eat over at the 4-H lunch counter, you'll walk right by the chamber booth. You can stop and register for a buyer's number at the chamber booth. But everything, cattle will be sold by bidder numbers, then you'll have an opportunity. They'll probably send you a catalog next year if you're registered as a buyer.
Very, very interesting class here. I think the Hereford Bull I go to start off with one that is really, really intriguing when you catch him from the side profile. I mean, super extended up front, very immature yet about his head shape and size, but I think one that's got a lot of extension. He's tucked up in his chest floor. Ton of power when you read him behind his shoulders from there back. He's extremely bold in the center portion of his body. You get to the back portion, he's still got some pin width. He's got some shape. If I'd like to change him ever so slightly, I'd like to just settle him down, get him a little bit looser in terms of his back pasture, and get him out to stride with a little bit more ease and flexibility. I think it was just because he's a shot nervous in the show ring this morning. I think a really nice bull to start off the class. Young man that comes in second, I think one that's built extremely uniform in the way he's put together. Reads with a little extra skin directly under his chin, but I think one that's super soft from there back, so it reads perfectly practical in the way he's built. I like him in the center portion of his body. He's deep. He's still maternal in the way he reads. I like him in his pin set. I like him at the ground. One that just stays true throughout. The bullet rounds out here in third. I think one that you admire for the power and dimension he has. He's certainly got some shape up top, one that's bold and pulled apart. But I think when you put him against the two ahead of him, he just gets a little outclassed today in terms of presence from the side profile. So I'm going to leave him third.
Congratulations to Clegus Herefords for winning Class 3 Spring Yearling Bulls. And now entering the ring, Class 4. We have Lot 17, a consignment from Libel Herefords. Lot 18 is from Libel Herefords as well. And rounding out the class will be Lot 19 from Dandy Acres Livestock.
These bulls range in age from February 20th through February 26th. There's 6 days separate the age of these bulls. February 20th through February 26th.
Nice class of Hereford bulls, and I'm sure in the stands you can sort them any which way and make your justification for it. I like the Lot 18 bull to come out in first. I think that the pounds pay in the end of the day, and this bull still puts it together in a pretty practical and good form fashion. I like him for the added frame size and the length of body. I think one that's certainly smooth yet in terms of the way he's constructed into his shoulder. I like him when you get behind him. He's super bold directly behind and carries that power out back. He's probably the biggest hipped and widest pin bull in the selection. If I'd like to change him up ever so slightly, though, just get him to where he just gets out and moves a shot better in terms of his hock and pastern. But certainly a good, high-quality bull that's going to pack some pounds and some frame on some cows down the road. The bull that comes out in second, I think of the two that come behind the bull that wins, I think he's just more balanced in terms of his build. One that's softer in the center portion of his body, one that's bolder when you get behind him. I like the added muscle up top. He's the stouter featured one of the two that I think's just put together in a more balanced package. The bull to round out the class, I think one that you really have to admire for being extremely sleek in his build. One that I like in terms of being more compressed in terms of his shoulder, one who's tighter up front. Looks like he's going to be a little bit easier calving bull, in my opinion, judging by his head and shoulder. I think one from there out, though, still has the length of spine and has the width of pin to go out and cover some cows and have a good set of calves down the road. But three really nice bulls. Congratulations to all exhibitors.
Congratulations to Liable Herefords winning Class 4 Spring Yearling Bulls with Lot 18. Entering the ring now will be Class 5 Junior Yearling Bulls. Entering the ring now is Clegus Herefords with Lot 20. Following Mary is Lot 21, another entry from Liable Herefords. Next in the ring, we have Grace Herefords with Lot 22. And rounding out the class is an entry from Neal Farms with Lot 23.
Just 7 days separate the age of these bulls. They'll range in age from February 12th through February 19th of 2024. I'd like to thank our two helpers in the ring, Kelsey Becking and Jasmine Adair.
Here's a class that could be sorted in multiple different ways over different reasons. I think the one common place that we need to start as the young man starting the class, I think a bull that's very well presented. I think one that has the added length of body and the power that you'd like to see. He's extremely balanced in terms of his top line. If you'd like to just soften him up in the center portion of his body and make him balanced from the side profile a shot better, that would certainly help him in terms of a side presence. But I think one that has some true power and some mass and dimension, still gets around the ring with some flexibility. I think that's just a good place to start. In my opinion, the bull that comes in second most mimics my class winner in terms of having that power directly behind his shoulder. He carries it back out through his loin into his hip. I think one that maybe just needs to be a shot plainer in terms of his lower bone work, but I think one that certainly has a lot of power, a lot of dimension. Maybe just didn't have the length of spine or the added frame as my class winner had, but I think a very nice bull to round up second. The bull to come in third here, I think the other larger frame bull of the four, I really like him. He's extremely youthful in his appearance, one that I like in terms of his head shape, his crest. He's super long spine, one that you have to admire for that. I think today he's just a little bit greener in his condition, one that doesn't read with quite as much center body to balance him out as neat from the profile, and he isn't quite the stoutest bull of the four, but I think he sits comfortably in third. Young man that rounds out the class here in fourth, I think the moderate frame bull just kind of got a little bit out framed today in class. I think one, though, as you read him on his own, he certainly has some merit for being a stout, powered up bull that has some pin shape and some width when you get behind him. He's certainly good in terms of his testicular development. I'd like to just loosen him up in terms of his structure, maybe give him a little added size and not so moderate, but certainly a great bull.
Congratulations to Neal Farms. Lot 23 is the winner of Class 5. Entering the ring now, we have a consignment also from Neal Farms, Lot 24. Next in the ring is Derek Gaikowski, Lot 25. And rounding out the class is Lot 26, a consignment from Golden Maples. Following this class, we'll need all the champions or class winners, and we'll select a champion yearling Hereford bull. And then the 2-year-old division will begin after the selection of the champion yearling bull.
Just 5 days separate the age of these bulls. The young man in the blue shirt, his bull was born February 6th. The next one, February 5th. And the young man without a cap is, excuse me, that's January 11th. So it'd be more than that. Roughly 30 days.
really nice class of Hereford bulls, and I think certainly all three different types and kinds. In my opinion, the young man that started off the class, I think, just has the one that's the most practical in terms of his build, the most balanced in terms of his look. I think when you study this bull, I think one that reads with a lot of dimension. I think he reads with a lot of smoothness. I like this one in terms of having some frame size and some length of spine. He does it in a very smooth fashion, in my opinion. I like him from the side profile. He could be a bit more attractive out of that hock and hind leg, but he does have the added flexibility in terms of the other two in class that they might lack ever so slightly. I think this bull does have some travel ability when you get him out and set him in motion. I just like to have it be a shot more attractive in the way he plants and uses that hock. The bull that comes out in second is certainly the one that is the most unique in his type and design. You get behind this bull, and wow, does he have a lot of power. He's certainly super wide in his pin set. He's the stoutest bull up top, without a doubt. But then you start studying him at the surface, and I think that's where he kind of falls apart for me. He's the smaller footed one of the top two bulls, and just doesn't get out and move with quite as much flexibility in his lower joints. Only reason he ends up in second. I think one that you do certainly have to admire, though, for just how stout and dimensional that bull is. To round out the class, I think a bull that certainly just got put into a tough spot. I think he's very practical and uniform in the way he's designed. One that's got some length of spine, one that's got some power, got some dimension. Certainly a very, very great breeding bull that'll go out and put some pounds on some calves. Just got into a tough class. Congratulations.
Nice job to Neal Farms, winning Class 6 Junior Yearling Bulls with their Lot 24. Entering the ring now, we'll have our selection of the champion Yearling Hereford Bull. First in is Clagus Herefords with Lot 15. Next in the ring is a consignment from Libel Herefords with their Lot 18 Bull. Winning Class 5 and third in the ring is a consignment from Neal Farms, Lot 23, and rounding out the champion drive is a consignment also from Neal Farms with his Lot 24 bull. After the selection of the champion yearling bull, we'll have a small class of 2-year-old bulls and select the overall champion Hereford bull. We'll get the sale order in line shortly after and have available for everyone for the sale immediately following the Angus sale at 12:30. So we'll have that ready. If you guys want to go, like Terry said, grab a bite at the 4-H lunch stand, then come back and select a bull for your next herd bull.
Like I did in the Angus show, I'll briefly go over where everything is here in division and kind of let you know where I'm thinking before I go out and select one. Uh, the one out of the first class I think is certainly the most unique in terms of design and build. One that reads extremely extended up front, very little in terms of chest. He's still angular in his skeleton, maybe one that could carry himself with a shot bit more presence off both ends of his skeleton, but I think one that certainly has the most unique pieces in being extended and attractive from the side profile. He's got the added performance, I think, in terms of the lineup. He's got the extra frame size, one that's still bold in the center portion of his body. You get behind him, and he's got some width between his pin set, and he's true at the surface. Like I said, if I could change him ever so slightly when he gets out in motion, just let him set him down a shot softer and a bit more attractive when you set him into motion. But very nice calf to start off the first class. The second class is a bull that certainly came out with the added power and dimension in terms of his age. You get directly behind that bull. He's super bold and square right behind his shoulder. He carries that power back. He's probably one of the widest pin-sitted bulls in the class. He's got a lot of turn and shape. He just maybe is just more practical in terms of his build, one that's really honest in what you get. Bull comes out in third and really long spine, really well put together. He's smooth bladed, one that looks like he's going to have very minimal calving problems. It's the build I would like for some younger cows, maybe some heifers depending on where he is EPD wise. I think that one there, I like his head structure. I like the fact that he's just very honest in the way he's put together. I like the added length of spine. I like the power he's got. Maybe if I'd change him so slightly, just get him a little bit bolder at the surface, a little bit bigger in terms of his foot size. But I'm sure that's coming with some of the calving ease behind that bull. And the bull to follow out the fourth division, I think one that's really good in terms of blending everything together. I like that bull in terms of his power. I like that bull in terms of the presence from the side profile. I think that one gets out and moves with enough flexibility. Do I think he does it as attractive off his rear too as some of the others? No, I think he has a little bit of extra set to his hock. I just like to neaten that up just to make him a shot bit more attractive and blend his hip in a little smoother with his top line. But I think that's a very, very honest bull. I like that bull quite a bit. I'll go out and select you a Grand End Reserve.
Congratulations to Neal Farms with lot 24, selected as your grand champion yearling Hereford bull. Also, congratulations to Clegus Herefords for having the reserve champion Hereford yearling bull with their lot 15 consignment. Next in the ring, we'll have class 7, and we have the 3-year-old consignments. No. 2-year-olds, I apologize. There's 3 2-year-old bulls. Entering the ring now, The first two bulls are consignments from LNJ Farms and Ranch, lots 10 and 11. And the third bull is again, lot 29, a consignment from Circle S Ranch.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you open your catalogs up, just inside of the cover, there is a picture of the Watertown Area Chamber Agriculture Committee. These people work, as a matter of fact, about, let's see, this thing will get over with Saturday, about next Monday morning, they'll start planning the 2026 show. If you go down about 4 paragraphs, it says, new to the Farm Business Banquet was the presentation of the Ag Advocate of the Year. The Ag Committee was excited to recognize Ryan Ulrich, this young man sitting right up here in the block with me, for his inaugural award. Ryan has dedicated his life to advancing the cattle industry, mentoring the next generation of agricultural leaders, and promoting the values of hard work and stewardship that are central to animal agriculture. Congratulations, Ryan Ulrich.
Breeders and buyers and contestants, I think there's certainly any way you can sort this class. I think it's extremely close because everything's so different, in my opinion. I like the young lady to start off the class. I think just in terms of being the most balanced and the most flexible and still being youthful yet powerful in his appearance. I think this bull, for me, works his way to the top. I like him in terms of being the greener bull of the pair. I think it gives him an edge in terms of looking a shot bit more honest. I like him in terms of his shoulder construction up front, specifically in terms of the two bulls behind him. I think he's more angular in his build. I think he's more unique when he gets set out into motion than these other two. I think that when you just study him from the ground up, he's the most honest bull in class, and that's why he made his way to the top. I think he's powerful. I think that he is flexible on the go. I think that he needs to start the class. Bullet comes out in second. I think one that's super honest and practical in his build. Big 2-year-old Hereford bull to me. I think one, as you read him up front, he's still together in terms of the way his front shoulder's constructed. I think he's extremely stout, sculled, and has the extra shot of power when you open him up directly behind his shoulders. When you compare him to the bull that wins the class, though, I just don't think he's put together as neat from the side profile, and I don't think he gets out and travels with much ease as much ease as a class winner. And the bull to round out the class, I think this one you have to admire him for the length of body and the amount of power this bull possesses. One that's certainly really good in terms of his testicular size and development. I think he's extremely long spine. I think he's got a ton of power. If I'd change this bull, though, I think he just needs to be more neatly constructed in terms of his front shoulder and his blade. I think he just wants to open up ever so slightly and maybe not get out and travel with as much ease as the bulls in front of him. So he'll end up third.
Congratulations to LNJ Farms on their class winner of the 2-year-old. Now entering the ring will be the selection of the grand champion Hereford bull. Winning the champion yearling bull is Neil Farms with his lot 24. Coming in next is lot 15, a consignment from Clegus Herefords. And then we'll bring in the champion senior bull, lot 10, from LNJ Farms and Ranch. And congratulations to them. They had the reserve bull as well, lot 11 from LNJ Farms and Ranch.
Well, our judge, Dan Weidenbach from Highmore, is selecting our grand champion, Hereford bull. Let's give our show and sale managers, Jeff Clegus, Ryan Ulrich, and Matt Zenz, a round of applause. They brought you a nice set of Hereford bulls here today, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, the grand champion bull is eligible for Supreme Roll, where Supreme Roll will be for $2,000 to the buyer and $2,000 to the consignor. Also, your Supreme Female, $1,500 each to both buyer and consignor. Any reserve champions are $500 apiece to both bull and female to buyer and consignor. $9,000 worth of prize money right here at the 80th annual Watertown Winter Farm Show.
Well, certainly a very nice group of bulls here for our grand champion drive. Why don't we put ourselves a round of applause together for these consigners. Like I said in the Angus show this morning, I like bulls that are practical, and I like them with some look and some design, and still having some power and dimension. Most importantly, just get them out and get them moving. Be able to cover both sides of the breed, both on a purebred side and a commercial side, and try to blend that in the center is kind of what I look to do. I think there's certainly 4 really high quality bulls out here that are all deserving of your round of applause. And I think that the consigners here too. The Angus show was great this morning. The Hereford definitely didn't disappoint either. I think there's high quality bulls throughout the entire barn from here back. I would like to thank everybody for having me up to come sort this morning, but I'll keep it short, and I'm going to run out and select you a grand and reserve.
Congratulations to Neal Farms with their Lot 24 consignment as the grand champion Hereford bull at the Watertown Winter Farm Show. Congratulations to Clagus Herefords with the reserve champion Hereford bull, Lot 15. We'll have the sale order and everything ready shortly. Thank you guys all for coming.
They'll move the auction block up now. The dedication will be at 12 o'clock noon for our 2 recipients of the farm show dedication.